Hi everybody, it's Vicki with Get Messy. How's everybody doing today? We have this really super cute little lovebirds going on here today. So if you've watched any of our other videos, I will just kind of go over everything again for the people who haven't. So what you'll need is your paintbrush. If you have any paintbrushes at home, some extra ones you can use. You'll need a cup of water and a piece of paper towel and your paints, obviously. So, first thing that we always do is I always start with a damp brush, not wet, just damp. And the reason for that is to help the paint smooth a little bit easier. Another little tidbit is when we're doing the background, and I'm going to start with the background, I find it easier to kind of go around everything first and then fill it in. And I know this one here is outlined with black Sharpie. If you go over the black Sharpie, it's totally fine. You can absolutely go in at the end and redo the black Sharpie. The only thing is you need to make sure that it's completely dry. It has to be completely dry in order to put the Sharpie on it. So wait a day or two before you outline yours. So I have this beautiful blue color here. And I'm using a medium-sized brush here so I can go around everything. And again, I'm not too worried about the black if I get any on there, but I am gonna kind of go in between here because I still want to see that Sharpie, right? So I'm gonna go in and around everywhere and around the birds like so. There's a little bit, let's see. Keep going around this way. So a lot of paintings, I do usually do the background first. It's not very often that I do anything in the foreground until after. And the reason for that is it is actually your background. So if you were to layer your paints, you would always, or a painting, you would go from the background to the foreground. So unless I need to go do the background last, I usually don't. Little tidbit for you. So also go around the sides of your canvas because when you hang it up on the wall, it will look finished. We don't want any unfinished look, right? So we're going to come around the sides. And then I'm going to fill this in here. And again, we don't have to worry too much about the first coat. The first coat is a base coat. And all that's going to do is give us a base for our layers. And another tidbit as well is not to use too much on your brush because what's going to happen, especially the little kiddos tend to do this, but if there's too much paint on your brush, you're just going to end up pushing that paint out and it could get places that you don't want it to be. So what I usually do is dab off any extra paint onto the side. Also, if we put too much paint on and we end up with like a paint streak, can you guys see that paint streak there? If we end up with that, it will never really dry. And then if we go in with that second coat, well, it will dry, but if we go in with that second coat, we'll keep lifting off that first layer and we'll always end up having a little spot that will never seem to cover. So remember to smooth out your paint, like so. A lot of times, generally, I do like to go in one direction, and I think I was saying in the other video as well, I don't usually stop my brush halfway like this, and the reason why I don't do that is because I will show you. If I stopped and then continued, you will see a brush stroke in here, and you don't want to see that. So the best thing to do is go from side to side like this until you fill it in. Now I know it's kind of hard to in the places where you're going to have to go around things, but whenever you can, you try to smooth out your paintbrush lines. I'm going to come in around here. All right. Now I'm going to be careful here. There's a little heart on the E, and I know this is spelled backwards for you guys just because the camera, but it says be mine, and a couple of these have little hearts in them. So I'm not going to do them with blue because I'm going to want to do them with maybe the red or the pink. We'll see how it goes. So I'm just trying to go around them the best I can. And smooth that out. So another thing I like to do too is to do each coat, 2 coats on everything generally, depending on some colors have better pigment than other colors and will cover better. But generally like 2 coats at least, sometimes 3 depending on, like I said, the color. So this one here seems to be a 2-coater, should be fine. Don't forget to go around the sides of your canvas as well. And take your time. There's no rush. Sometimes if we rush, that's when the accidents happen. But we can always fix anything that needs touching up. You just got to come up with a different idea for it and create something different. So one time I was painting and I dropped my paintbrush right onto my canvas and it left a big dark mark right in the middle of the canvas, and I thought for sure it was ruined. But nope, what I did was I just changed it into something else and I made like an extra tree instead. Like this. We're so close to being done our background. There we go. So now I just have to get the sides here. It's kind of, I can see better through the camera. There we go. And then this little part here. Smooth out the paint. There we go. I also have to do the top. Here we go. So now I have my first coat done on my background. So the next one I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to do the brown part of the bottom. So I dip into my brown and just wipe off any extra paint that I have. And I'm going to start filling in the bottom. Now what I do is I bring whatever color I'm using, I bring to the side as well. But you can do yours however you like. These are your art pieces and nobody else's, and they're going to be different. Everybody's painting is different. Not 2 people paint the same, right? Almost like a signature. No 2 people have the same signature, right? Your handwriting is always different. So I'm just coming along here, getting close to that black line as I can. Again, if you go over it, it's okay as long as you can see it. Like this. And we're almost there. There we go. I just have to do this little part here. There we go. This one's a fairly easy one. This one should be nice. Okay, so I'm going to do my heart pink. So you have red and pink. You can do either or. If you have your own paint at home, you can add in some purple if you like. But I'm going to do my heart pink. There we go. So I'd like to remind everybody too that if I'm going a little too quickly, you can always pause and come back to it when you're ready. So here I have my boy bird here, and then this is the little girl with her eyelashes. So I think what I'm going to do is do this guy red with a pink wing, and this one is going to be pink with a red wing, and then I'm going to do opposite color beaks. All right, so I'm going to go in with the red. Remember, it's good to get close to and do your outline first and then fill it in. And remember, if you happen to find that your paint isn't pulling, it's drying out, just dampen your brush again. And not too wet. We don't want it too wet, because if it's too wet, your paint is just going to drip. So we're getting there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now. I'm going to fill in both of my birds, and then I will come back to you to show you how to add in a little detail. We're back. So I have the first coat done on my birds here. So what I'm going to do is kind of show you how to add in a little bit of detail if you wanted to do that. So down here where the brown is, just going to rinse out my brush here, make sure I have a clean brush. So I'm going to dip into that brown. If you have your own colors at home, you can definitely pick whatever color you'd like to do for this. But because there's no white in this picture, I'm going to actually go in with the brown and a little bit of pink. And what this is going to do is just kind of give this bottom part a little extra, like just a little bit of a highlight in there, so it's not just brown. Now another easy way to do too is just to do the brown like this. Get close there. And as it's still a little bit wet, I'm going to do a little bit of pink here like this, and just do a couple of little lines in here like this. I know it's kind of hard to see in the camera there, but it just kind of gives it a little bit more definition and gives it not so one color. There we go. And don't forget to do the sides. Now I'm actually going to lift this up a little bit on top of this here so we can actually see it a little bit better. This is the funny part, because every time I do this, I always forget the bottom because it's sitting on the easel. So like I said, I'm going with a little bit of pink in a few different little spots here. just to add in a little something so that it's not just brown. Let's see if I can put it closer. Can you see this? Still a little bit wet too. Just like that. So for the next part, I'm going to show you, actually, let's do the rest of our background first. So I'm going to pause here again and do the second coat of my background, and then I'll come back and show you how to put a little bit of detail in the birds. So I got my second coat done on my background here. As you can see, I did paint over my black marker, but that's okay because I can still see it and I can go back in after and add it in. So as I was going, I had one of those happy little accidents again, and then I had a good idea. So I don't know if you can see here, but I actually came up into the pink with my blue. And what does pink and blue make? A little shade of purple. So I thought it would be fun to add in a little bit of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my medium-sized brush again, and I'm going to dip into my pink, and I'm going to very quickly get a coat of pink on here. And the reason why I want to do this part quickly is because I don't want the paint to dry. I need the paint to be a little bit wet in order to add the blue to the pink. So again, we want to go a little bit quick, at the same time being careful not to go outside the lines. There we go. So then I'm going to dip into a little bit of blue, and I still have the pink on my brush. As you can see, I just put a little bit of blue on there. But I thought it would be cute if we wanted to make this kind of a little more 3D. So see, the more I mix it, it creates a purple color. Like that. Dip into the blue again a little bit, and you don't need much. And I'm going to mimic the other side here. And remember, these are just guidelines on how I'm painting, but these are your paintings, so you can do them however you like. If you want to do pink in the background and the birds blue or anything. So I'm going to fix this part here a little bit with some extra pink because that's going to help it like that. So now you see I have a little bit of detail in that heart. Funny thing is that when I look at it through here, it looks much different than in person. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is do my second coat on my birds. And again, we're going to kind of do the same thing as we did with the heart. And we're going to go a little quickly. Now, can you see I still have a bit of that blue in my brush? But that's good because now I'm creating like a shadow. So that's okay too. Like that. What we have to do is little tail, her little tail. Like so. And then I'm going to do the same kind of thing. I'm going to add in just a little slight bit of blue. So I'm going to add some in down here because we would have a shadow where the wing is, right? So I did a little bit there. Might do a little bit here at the end of the tail. And if you don't feel adventurous in mixing your colors like this and blending, you don't have to. You can do yours all one color if you like. And then I'm going to do the same thing in the opposite wing here. So as you can still, I see, I still have a little bit of that purple color in the wing. There we go. I'm going to try and bring it a little closer so you can see there's like that little bit of a purpley tone. I'm going to rinse out my brush really, really good. And then I'm going to go in and do the red. So I'm going to quickly do like this. And again, I'm trying to go a little bit quick because I don't want my paint to dry too much. Sometimes you do want it to dry quick and other times you don't. We're almost there. Oh. I dipped in, didn't even put any paint on it that time. Another thing you might notice too is I'm actually going along with the shape. So if the shape goes like this, my hand goes like that. You don't want to go straight across like this because that's not how they actually look, right? So we have to go with the direction. So same with this heart. So if I fill in this part, then see I'm going to follow that heart down. All right. So now that that's kind of still a little bit wet, this time I'm going to go in with pink. So because we go in with a lighter color than the color we're using, we're actually going to cause a highlight rather than a shadow. So this time I'm going to put a bit of the pink up in here. And then I might want to do some in here. This one's actually a little bit harder to see. But again, I'm going the same direction. You see a little bit of little bits of the pink and the purple in there. And again, it's yours, so you can do it however you like. So another little tidbit, I'm going to come in actually while I have pink on my brush and add in a little bit more of that pink in here now that my bottom is dry. There we go. One thing I did notice that I completely forgot about is the hearts up in the words. So I'm going to use a pink. You can use whatever color you like. Like that. So of course, now I have to wait for my canvas to be completely dry before I can write that in. I seem to be pretty good. If yours is very wet, wait a day or so. But if yours is drying pretty quick, or you can get a hair dryer. If you have a hair dryer, you can dry it really quick. So the only thing with this part is I'm going to have to take the canvas down because I'm right-handed and it'll be a little bit difficult at this angle to do it. So I'm going to go ahead, wait for this to completely dry, and then I'm going to put the black Sharpie on and I will come back to show you the finished result. Okay, so now I've waited for mine to completely dry. Again, if you have a hair dryer or something like that, you can, and then you just go over it with a black Sharpie. I'm finished this one, but I do want to, if you wanted to add into the background, this is one of my favorite things to do. And you just use the back of your brush and you can do some polka dots in behind. So I'm going to go and do a couple of pink ones like this. Hold on now. I have to get my palette a little closer. And I'm going to do some little pink, and I'll put the canvas closer so you can see. And just do some random polka dots, kind of just like fills in the negative space a little bit. Put one down here and over here and in here. And I'm just going to randomly put little pink dots everywhere. Maybe one inside the B here. We'll put one inside the N over here. And up here. You can also come along the sides too and put some in if you like. So there we go. There's our lovebirds. Look how cute. With Valentine's Day coming up. I guess it could be done anytime, really. So again, I want to say thanks for all the support and coming and doing a painting with us. And I hope everybody has a lovely day. And if anybody wants to send us a picture of their painting once they're done, we'd like to see that. All right, from Get Messy, till next time.